Hi, everyone, and welcome to our first lecture of CS 124 Honors. To start out with, I'm going to go over a couple of announcements. So welcome to the course. We are so happy to have you here. One administrative task just to get us started is please fill out the enrollment confirmation form. It's not as scary as it sounds. It's really just for us to know that you are interested and you are taking the course. Because of the different registration protocols, which we will go into more depth later about, we just need a single way for us to know that you are here and you want to take the course. So the link is right on the slide, and please check Discord for announcements. We have a lot of important communication there, and the link to join the server is in our Google form. So our goals for today are to introduce course content and ourselves, discuss some of the main goals of this course, go over lecture delivery, go over the syllabus, and we'll have a brief Q&A session at the end. So first, a little bit about ourselves. Hi, my name is Raina. I'm a sophomore in computer science and philosophy. A few facts about me. I am a huge lover of matcha. My favorite show on Netflix right now is Community, and I am a huge Ariana Grande stan. Now to my co-lead.
Hi guys, my name is Rachel. I'm also going to be a lead for this class. I'm a sophomore in computer science. And I guess one fun fact is that I have a hitchhiker thumb, so yay. Going into what we're going to be doing in the class is split into two sections. So the first section is lectures and homework, and then the second one is projects. And projects will constitute around 90% of the course, whereas around 10% of the class time will be spent on lectures and homework, and the material in it is just to help you get ready for what you're going to be doing in projects. And then the other 90% is projects. So more about the projects because it is the centerpiece of the course. How are projects run? So projects are run based on teams. We're going to be pairing you with people with similar interests. So around the middle of the semester, you'll be receiving a form kind of just asking you about your interests. Maybe it's like ML, maybe it's website, etc. And we'll find people who have similar interests and pair you up. So there's going to be around 4 to 7 students per group, and each group is going to be guided by PM. The PM, most of them were previous students in the past. Some of them aren't, but all of them will be there to help you, support you, and they're very knowledgeable about your topic. Okay, so project experience. Why is project experience important? Well, we've noticed that in classes normally, people don't really have a lot of project opportunities in the first place because a lot of it is definitely like machine problems or sort of independent work. So we wanted to add this component to the class. The first reason is very important. It's to boost your resume. It's to add a talking point with recruiters. So if a recruiter asks you like, oh, like what's the time? It's like one of those questions you'll be able to sort of fill in the answer with your experience from this class. And the second one is get your experience working on something really real world, not really answering a question, but just trying to solve a problem, creating a new product that solves a problem. And we're going to be following a lot of industry standards. So the first one is the agile team. You'll see down here. Typically in industry, you work on sort of like sprint-like structures where every single week something is due. So we're going to be following the same structure here. And you'll also be learning version control, so like GitHub and stuff like that during the first few weeks. So that will also be what sort of lectures are about. Raina's going to talk more about this later, but yeah. And it's also going to be a combination of remote, hybrid, and in-person. We're not really sure whether in-person is going to be allowed yet, but our plan going forward is that it is going to be allowed. And the project we want to reiterate is basically like whatever you want it to be on. We really want this class to be sort of a learning experience for you guys, for a place where you can just kind of go based on your own interests, which is really important and which we found that you don't really have the chance to in regular classes. We'll obviously provide structure and guidance for you guys, but we will let you take the reins with your group. So the overall project timeline, The first thing we're going to do is we're going to assign you a homework, and this homework is nothing serious. It's just to have you brainstorm a couple of ideas for your projects. And you'll be able to also fill this form with your interests, whether it be, like, as I said before, ML or web development, even game design, stuff like that. And then we'll pair you up. You guys will create a minimum viable product. And then afterwards, like further on in the semester, there'll be a midterm presentation and also a final presentation, just to show your classmates what you have done. Oop. Okay, there we go.
Okay. Yeah, now moving on to lecture content. So with the exception of this one lecture, all of the lecture content will be delivered asynchronously on our YouTube channel, although we will usually be posting on Tuesdays and Thursdays at around this time. So yeah, these lectures are going to be during the first few weeks of the course, and it's prior to getting your project groups organized. It's really about getting you ready so that when we get to projects, you'll really be able to hit the ground running. As I mentioned before, it's uploaded at our YouTube channel, CS Honors at Illinois. Some major topics include Bash, Git, and a project lecture. These first 3 lectures will be required, but later on in the semester, we'll have some on other miscellaneous topics, but we'll get to that later. Okay, so the first main topic is Bash. Bash is a text-only interface used for controlling Unix-based operating systems. If that sounds a little too complicated, don't worry, we'll go into more depth. What you need to know right now is that it allows you to control your computer like a developer, and it's a very useful tool. Next, we will be doing 2 lectures on Git. Git is a version control system. It allows you to track changes to project files, allows for easy, secure collaboration with other developers, allows for file recovery, and so much more. You'll use Bash and Git together for all your other classes in CS at Illinois to share your own projects and at internships, jobs. It will carry through in so many places, and it's just very useful to have now and later on. Okay, so a little bit about homework. We're putting homework in place just to reinforce some of the material in the earlier weeks and give you some real world or not real world, but like at least some practical experience and practice using some of these tools. So
oh my goodness, and it's cold.
If you haven't already joined our course on Prairie Learn, please do so. And the Prairie Learn homeworks will be open after the respective lectures. Another really important homework will be the project homework. So this will be before the start of projects and after our project lecture, going over kind of walking you through different project ideas, how to come up with them, different areas of interest that you can potentially work in. This will be submitted via a Google form and allow you to brainstorm and develop and really flesh out project ideas so that once groups are formed, you have something more detailed to share and maybe even an idea of how you want to go. Feel free to also share these ideas on Discord. We have an ideas text channel in the general area on the Discord. So yeah, definitely put those in now, later. You know, it's always great to share and react to other people's ideas as well. All right, so the overall deadline for all homeworks is going to be February 10th. We want to keep it open as more people end up adding the course, and we don't want people to feel like they're behind, but we do recommend finishing the homework within 1 week of receiving it just to keep you on track. For homework support, we will have office hours housed also on the Discord from January 26th, which is the day after our first lecture, all the way through February 19th. So even after project groups are formed, these will be held on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., where a staff member will be there to assist you on anything you might need. Another thing that we're really excited about this semester are topic-specific lectures. These are completely optional, but they'll be recorded by our own staff members to watch if you want to, or if you just have the extra time to. These can also be a very helpful resource when you're working on your projects. Let's just say that you want to do a project in website development, and yes, there are some available tutorials online that your project managers can point you to and you can find on your own, but it's also nice because we might have, lectures coming straight from the staff, people that have taken the course before are really familiar with it and and it's a more personalized lecture or specific to this course. So some of these topics might include machine learning, databases, website development. If you have any suggestions for other topics that you might want to see, feel free to put them in the general chat or in ideas even, so that we can see those too. Okay, so now just looking at an overall timeline for the course. So first day of classes was January 18th, and we have this first introductory lecture and our info session, but our first official lecture will be on BASH next Tuesday. Get 1 will be next Thursday, and then Get 2 will be the following Tuesday. We'll then have our project lecture following Thursday, and if you can see the curly braces, those kind of denote when you should be working on each of the homeworks. The project ideas homework you'll have a whole week to work on your project ideas homework because we really want you to be thinking about these things, and then you'll be ready by the time it's project kickoff on February 10th. That's another Thursday. Hopefully we'll be able to do some level of in-person for that event, and you'll be able to meet your group members and your project manager, and then from there, you just kind of hit the ground running all the way from then until the end of the semester with your projects.
Cool. Okay. Thank you, Raina. Now we're going to be going over the syllabus. So the first thing is, do you guys think there are any prerequisites? Or Raina, are there any prerequisites?
No, there are really no prerequisites.
Yeah, exactly. There are no prerequisites. Like actually, we want to make this class really open to like people of all skill levels. If you're a total beginner, this class is perfect for you. And if you're an expert on something and you want to make a project out of it, this is also the perfect class for you. We just want it to be a learning experience. So some information about receiving credit. So don't worry about credit, first of all. Most of the people, I think in the past, like literally 99% of people have received an A back when it was letter graded. So that's going to directly transfer to receiving credit. And to sign up for the class, there are different protocols for non-James Scholar students and James Scholar students. I think we put this in many forms and stuff, but we just wanted to reiterate this information. So for non-James Scholars, just make sure to sign up for the class on self-service. We are this section linked below. And then for James Scholars, all you have to do is fill out the HCLA agreement for CS 124 to receive credit. And everybody fill out the Google form. I think this semester, it's a little bit difficult for us to know who's enrolled in the class because of the new HCLA agreement. So this is like a way for us to know if you're taking the course. Okay, and we're going to be going on to grading. You can also find this on the syllabus. So there's going to be around 3 components to grading. The first one is the weekly evaluation, which will be happening every single week when projects have begun. The second one is how we're going to evaluate your final projects, just a midterm final presentation attendance, and then GitHub, Bash, and project homework. So the first one we're going to be going over is the project grading per week. This is basically every single week of your projects, how we're going to evaluate your performance. The first one is that this class is going to be a very attendance heavy class. And that means that you must attend the weekly meeting that you have with your project group. But however, it is very easy to attend the project meetings because your PMs are going to be asking when you guys are available. So maybe you're not available one week, you can just tell your PM and they will change the time to accommodate your schedule. It's a very flexible time issue thing. So hopefully attendance won't be too much of an issue. And just in place, I think Ray and I both got sick like 500 times this semester. So we understand if you're also sick sometimes. That's why on top of excused absences, in which sicknesses, count as that, if you have more like unexcused absences, you're allowed up to 2 unexcused absences. So on top of the excused ones, you'll also have 2 unexcused absences. So hopefully this won't be like too much of an issue.
Yeah, and just adding on a little bit, for excused absences, a big part of that is just really making sure that you're communicating with your PM and your group. Like, we're all students, we understand, but just so that we know where you're at, that's a really important component of that as well.
Yeah. And then the rest of the grade is going to be based on your performance. So just sort of task completion. And we have 3 levels: exemplary, satisfactory, and unsatisfactory. If you get an exemplary, you'll receive extra credit at the end of the semester. But again, the sort of criteria for receiving a satisfactory is very low. We just want you to see, like, try to do something. If your PM assigns for you, I don't know, to create like a button or something, for example, like on your project, and you've just tried to create the button and showed effort, like we'll count that as a satisfactory. It's not a very like black and white sort of situation. And then the rest is sort of version control. We want you to like push your code to GitHub, which you will learn more about later. And then individual communication is also very, very important. And this just means, honestly, just like checking in with your PM or telling your PM how, you know, your progress is for that week. And then the second part of grading is going to be at the very end when we're looking at your code as a whole. The first one is MVP goals. So did you meet what you said you would do? And honestly, did you make an attempt to like meet that sort of baseline? So you don't have to actually complete the MVP, but we want like the MVP to be there for there to be a guide about like what you're going to be doing for the semester. And then the second part is the code base structure and documentation. This is honestly just looking at your code, like, did you write code? Did you like, not like, does it work, but just sort of like, is it there? Sort of. So we're being very like generous, but this is because we want you guys to like focus on the learning component. So the expected time commitment, this is sort of like I said medium high, but I feel like it's around medium. It's a 2.5 to 4 hours a week workload. It depends on how much time you want to put into this class. If you put more into this class, obviously you're going to get more out of it, like they always say. So the first few hours are just going to be dedicated towards lesson videos and homeworks. And then when projects start, 30 minutes are going to be dedicated towards your project meetings, and then the rest is going to be dedicated towards out of meeting work.
Yeah, so a little bit about the information flow. So if you have any technical homework or course questions, where do they go? They go on the Discord. Project group and lecture communications also on the Discord. Recorded lectures and homework will be on YouTube and Prairie Learn respectively. But if you haven't realized already, Discord is going to be a very, very important place for communication. If you've never used Discord before, don't worry about it. We also have a Discord tutorial to get you familiarized with our server specifically. So even if you have used it before, I encourage you to just kind of go through the video a little bit to see how we're going to be using the different channels. Yeah, and that's it from us. Do you have if you have any questions, feel free to ask now.
Yeah, and you can type it in the chat or
like unmute yourself. Yeah, it's a smaller Zoom, so.
If not, that's also fine.
I had a question on like for the James Scholar, like on it, like the email I got, it says like computer science 199 does not meet their on its own doesn't meet their requirements. So like, would I have to add like an extra course or?
You wouldn't need to add an extra course. Actually, what you want to do is fill out the HCLA for CS 124. So the not the honor section. It's going to be for the main course specifically. And then if you've done this in other classes, basically like you're contracting like a regular course as an honors course, and this add-on will meet that requirement for you.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah. I think I saw another question in the chat.
What's the extra credit for if the honors course is pass fail? Extra credit. Oh, okay. Yeah. The extra credit is basically maybe like this is the one scenario where you would get it unsatisfactory, but maybe like if you do a little bit better, you'll get moved to a satisfactory. But honestly, that scenario will probably never happen, but it's just an incentive for you to work on the project.
And the other thing is, if you see kind of like our grading breakdown, even though it's pretty much on a pass fail basis, we do assign percentages just to keep track of what you've been doing. So we set the cutoff for like a pass at an 80%. So the extra credit will contribute towards getting whatever that 80% might be. Yeah. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Oh. Yeah.
Hi. So are you going to use Java for our programming language? I know for computer CS 124, we have to choose between Java and Kotlin. Does it work the same here for when we're going to start coding? Are you going to use like a specific language or? it's
Yeah,
up to
so
us as a group to choose whatever language we want.
yeah, it's up to your group to choose whatever language you want. One of the things that you guys were thinking about while creating the MVP is sort of the tech stack. So what languages you want to use. And so it doesn't really have to be Java. It can be if you want, but it's up to you.
Yeah, so if you end up doing your project in say like Android Studio, you'll likely be using Java, but there are also a bunch of other options. And this is something that you can research and discuss with your PM as you start your projects. Another thing, just answering some other questions, the CS 124 or CS 199, 124 or 124 honors, as we call it, is pretty much completely separate from CS 124. So even though it is the honors credit will be attached to the main CS 124 class. The actual content doesn't really overlap much, and the work you'll be doing for one won't contribute for the other. So think of them as two separate entities, almost like two different classes, but whatever credit you get here will transfer to your 124 grade.
Okay, the next question is, does the project have to work on PC or Android? No, it can also work on like Mac or like all kinds of mediums. I remember one year they did a Swift app, so working on like phones, like mobile phones and Apple phones and stuff. So yeah, it can work on whatever thing you want.
Yeah, and the tech stack you end up choosing is really going to depend on whatever is going to be working for, you know, the group's whatever technology the group is using. And so as we mentioned before, it's a really personalizable experience, and yeah, you have a lot of creative freedom here. So we're just here to give you the resources to do what you want to do. So that involves the technologies you'll use as well.
Oh wait, Barrett, I think he said, will this course satisfy CS minor course?
Oh, I don't know if this satisfies any, I don't think this satisfies any requirements for the CS minor, but if you are considering a CS minor and you know you have a lot of interest in computer science, I think this is a great place to get started on projects, and it's an experience that you really won't see outside of this course. Yeah. Let me see.
Will our meetings with our group be in person or on Zoom? Oh, okay, that's up to your group to decide. Some people may be more comfortable with meeting online, in which case like we'll have a place in our interest form for you to fill that out. So we'll match you with people who are also like willing to meet online. So it's up to your group.
Yeah, and usually even if groups decide to do in person, I know some of the groups that I project manage for is I project managed for, I held hybrid options. So even when I was doing in-person meetings, I had either like a Zoom or a Discord room open for anyone that isn't able to attend in person or doesn't feel comfortable attending in person. So there's a lot of flexibility, and whatever works best for you is likely what your PM will be going forward with. And then, oh, okay, I see another question about what kinds of projects have people done? What projects are we capable of doing, considering all of us are only in CS 124? So something that is really cool about this course is that you will be able to do a lot. You'll learn so much this semester, and you'll be able to do a lot more than you originally think. So when I took this course, I was pretty much a complete beginner, but along with like the support from my group mates and the support from my project manager and the content that I got along the way, my group and I were able to work on a web app that used React on the front end and Flask on the back end. So both of those did not involve any Java or anything that we had really learned in CS 124, but it was a web app that use semantic analysis to filter out positive news and display positive news. So there are so many cool things that you can do. And in our projects lecture and later on the website in our Hall of Fame, we'll be displaying a lot of past projects and highlighting those. So, you know, you could take a look, and we will definitely share those with you that way as well. Yeah.
For do we choose group mates ourselves? Unfortunately, you will not be able to choose your group mates. You guys can try to fill out like similar interest forms maybe, but we found that in the past, people who kind of knew each other would form little cliques, so we kind of wanted to avoid that. And also we think that this course could be a great way to like meet new people and people that you wouldn't have otherwise. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
unfortunately not.
CS 124 Honors is such a great community. And I actually met one of my roommates through CS 196 and I met, or CS 124 Honors, and I met the rest of my roommates through her. So, it's a really good experience, a good opportunity to meet people, connect, and yeah, it's just a great community to be a part of.
No, yeah, same. I met like one of my very good friends through this class too. So
Yeah.
never know.
Any
Yeah.
more questions?
Yeah, and if you guys have like questions that you think about later, you can always email us or just DM us on Discord. We're pretty active on there. I can put our emails in the chat really quick.
But I do encourage you to use the questions channel first, just because
Yeah.
somebody else might have the same question that you do. And then if you put it there, then more of us can see. Okay, good question. The PowerPoint from today, we will be posting today's slides in the resources channel on our Discord shortly. So after this meeting, we'll be posting them there. So you'll be able to refer to them. And we'll do that for all of our slides. We may find a more consolidated place to put them in the future, but for now, they'll be good. Or like a Notion page or something in the future. But for now, they will all be in our resources channel.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think that those are all the questions.